she like will be sleeping and her eyes are closed, but she will like scream like bloody murder at the top of her lungs. And I'm such an anxious person.
Do you give her melatonin?
I do.
Because that increases nuclear.
I
used
know.
to take melatonin, but it would make them worse.
So she hasn't been having them as bad because I don't give it to her on a daily basis. I just know like if she's like super exhausted and she's at the point where like she's not gonna go to bed because she's like that tired, then I have to give it to her. But even when I don't give it to her, she just
Yeah, I haven't had it in a while. I always have nightmares, but night terrors are the.
I mean, and I've done, I guess,
Who am I
scared to
working
go
for?
back to
Guide
sleep
to ensure?
and
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Good question.
So for a 4-year-old, I can imagine.
yeah, like her whole thing is like I switched everything up and like during like the week I don't let her watch TV right before she goes to bed. Like we're always like doing like different things. Like she's always having me with dinner, putting stuff away, or doing this or doing that, or playing with baby dolls or whatever. The TV's not on for her to like get any like scary images like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. Because I feel like whatever show I fall asleep on,
Yeah.
which so sometimes I'm like watching, I love like watching vampire stuff, so like, or like serials or
So
something.
yeah, like I like
Maybe-
Dateline.
then
Like
I'll
I was like I was
Yeah.
watching Oxygen, the Florida man murders. Yeah.
Yeah, I watch all that stuff. Like, for my last show, again, The Mandalorian.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I wonder why I can't go to sleep, right?
Andrea,
Huh.
affirmations and stuff and soothing stuff for her.
So yeah, she has a water, like one of those sound machines. Got that going for her. She has a weighted blanket that helped a lot, tremendously. I don't know.
I realized, not that I had issues with sleeping, but listening to affirmations and positive stuff before I go to sleep literally changed. And
Oh yeah, well it's not that,
different
it's when she wakes me up and I'm already in my dead asleep, that she wakes me up and I'm like, ah, okay, you're screaming. Let me get you to stop.
I'm serious.
I'm like the worst sleeper. Like nobody ever wants to like when I travel, they don't want to share my phone with me because like turn your phone on silent, keep the curtain closed. Don't say a word. Like I need like pitch black quietness. Like my window unit is my noise like to not be. Like, just like, that's the only noise I like to. I'm the worst.
I woke up, I
Even
just
when
wasn't
I'm taking
tired.
pills, I'm still like super, it just kind of knocks me out, but doesn't keep me out.
I woke up about 3 o'clock, I haven't been back to bed. No problem.
Yeah, no, it'll take me a few weeks.
Ooh,
to
yeah,
get back.
turn the air on.
This is,
Phew.
this
Years
is
that
the
I
freezer.
get off.
Oh, okay.
How did I know? How did I know? It's I'm wearing sweatshirt.
7 o'clock in the
Last
morning.
year, class in December, I was like, and I'm always cold. I had the heat on in here and the door closed and because I was like, I'm not gonna do it. So they walked in and I turned it off too late for it to not be so warm. They're like, well, what's toasty in here? I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, so
I know.
Coming here, I do too. Oh man, it's so cold.
Okay, so I will. One of you guys can drop it or push it up a little bit, but it'll keep resetting. So we'll just have to be mindful of pushing it up. So I don't know, send it up 2 or 3 degrees at least.
80s.
that's too much. It said it was on 62 for heat.
No, don't do the heat. Just cut the air off. So just push it up and it should click off.
So like, put on 75 and then,
Yeah, maybe 77. Let's do that.
oh, 74.
hardest part I had was finding that, deposit ticket, because I just don't use checks or
So
anything.
yes, that has been the general consensus. But you did have your information to put.
Yes, ma'am, I do I have the ticket too. I found you one.
Oh, look at that. Set your mind to it.
I don't know why they even have that anywhere, like,
Yeah, that's right. We can
Largely before the girl,
already signed and I got a copy of it, yes.
and I work in the banking and finance. I do not believe how many old school people there are.
Hmm. Yeah. My mom's not old, but she's very old. So she's.
I think old school, like they
Yeah,
want, they
that's what
want the
I'm saying.
old.
Yeah. When it comes to certain things, that's my mother. She orders her checks still. She
Is he
writes
still
stuff
balanced
down
in
in
checkbook?
She has this paper, it's just like not even months, years of this month and this, and I'm like, Mom, and she works all of it, she works remotely, so, but
Oh, so she
Well, you're
can-
supposed
she
to
can
keep your
do
finance
it.
records for 7 years.
it's all handwritten, and they're just notebooks of how she, yeah, it's sickening. I'm like, but it works for her, I'm not paying her bills, so do what works for you, but yeah, it's a little crazy.
It's a little much.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep your payment histories, all that kind of different kind of stuff for like 7 years. I'm like,
Well, if they want to come for me, they're gonna come for me.
they want to come from me.
That's what I'm
they're-
thinking. You know what? You know where I live.
Right.
Call me, email me, text me.
If they want to come from me, they're not gonna like it very much because I don't have crap. And I worked in the finance industry, but that's just too much. I used to try, and it was just too much. And then when you go to move all that extra crap, no, it all goes in the garbage every time I move. There's no part.
I need help finding my South Carolina license. I can't find it on my phone.
Okay. Write that down.
I'm sure I could probably go to the website, but I gotta go outside and do
Okay,
it.
the reception. Okay,
Yeah.
no worries. What other states do you have?
Florida, South Carolina, Michigan, and Ohio.
Okay, but South Carolina's the one.
Yeah, South Carolina's the one that I can't find, and it's just probably because I got too much crap on my phone. I can't find it.
It's backwards.
The website or the actual license.
One more time?
I was asking her if she was looking for the South Carolina license, her actual license is saved on her phone, or was she looking for the
Oh,
website
okay.
to access it?
The website.
Oh, that I can find. That's
Do you have
fine.
reception in here?
I do.
Look at that.
Like I do, it's hit and miss. Like it'll be 5 bars, and it'll go down to like 3. Then right now it's on like 2. But then if I move,
I got a solid
Don't
thing back here.
right?
No,
Don't breathe.
Just like, do this.
Yes. Oh, I forgot. I can actually go to NIPR, can I?
yeah, the,
Yeah, the National Insurance Producer Registry.
you
I have
can
it with it.
try. I didn't have any luck on that, but,
Well, that's where I go.
Right,
That's where I go to get the licenses, so they should be stored in there, right?
They say they are somewhere, but again, I was trying to look for that,
Oh,
and,
Jurisdiction. What do they mean jurisdiction? Where I live?
there's, it was, what you call it is not very user friendly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it
Website.
because, yeah, it says license manager and then it says jurisdiction required.
Yeah. It was
The jurisdiction were,
Oh, I did not have South Carolina, hold on. No problem. I thought I did for some reason.
Your list is right? Crystal? Okay. This is good?
Yes.
I've heard you say you didn't have something. I don't know.
I thought off the top of my head that I had South Carolina, and then I just looked up my list again and I don't. Oh.
It's fine, Tori. I put it on here for Andrew to check for you.
Okay.
It's on the website to go to is sc.gov. Specifically online.doi.sc.gov is the website to go to find the earning services.
This, you know, newbie.
It doesn't take long to get your feet wet. Not doing this types of.
And also say that it's, I mean, it's federal expense, it's not so complicated.
No, it's not.
Since I got, my license 2 years ago, and I've been used during my continuing education, but the one I got was kind of like, I think I got, teacher. And, so like I got in my first year, I was like, do homework, do continuing education. I love it, just a little bit.
Are we all still alive?
We're
Almost done?
Just
Do you
for that.
have a vending machine for drinks?
Yes. And
I don't know if it matters to you, on the little paper for all the seats, but, so I have 2 legal names.
do you have that on your,
Two special.
very special. You have that on your application information?
No,
And with your licensing?
it goes by the names that I don't use.
Okay.
I just realized how much, that's kind of important, I didn't say.
So that wasn't on the sticky.
Yeah, so, you know, back in the day, they used to give mothers morphine after having their baby. Then they had to sign all that important paperwork. And so my mom didn't catch that they typed Kristen, Krystan, on my birth certificate application. And my name was supposed to be Crystal, and so she signed it. So my birth certificate came in as Kristen, and my social came in as Crystal. And the government parties argue about who's gonna fix it. Oh no, it's gotta match. Well, obviously it's gotta match, but it doesn't match, which is the damn problem. So yeah, it's been a nightmare.
Okay. So put whatever name is on your licensing on that. Andrew's gonna pop in a second and bless us with his presence
On all my paperwork.
for the license. Look up.
Oh, I haven't gotten to that yet. I just.
Maureen, may I just show you these and then I'll bring you back a copy of it tomorrow?
I can make a copy. You don't want me to make a copy?
I can.
No, I can make a copy. Oh, you got it.
Oh, I emailed it. Oh,
You already put the information on your.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it in here. Yes.
Well, she found one.
You asked my point and then I
Okay.
changed my mind. So
I didn't see it.
Yes, Grandma. You are welcome, and just put this with your stuff.
You received mine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is so weird, like, I can go to the email where it tells me my license was accepted and approved and all that, but I cannot actually go to the license when I.
Can you screenshot it?
Oh, yeah, but look, when I actually go to it, look, it says 404 error.
So website's checked.
South Carolina, yeah, that's what that means. So that's why I'm like, I literally honestly
The
can't.
website name, though.
$2.
I'm going directly to
I
it.
didn't know, I know that, but I'm saying I gave the website earlier.
It's the same link that you gave me.
But I'm saying I got to it, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I know,
didn't get
I'm
a
just
404
saying,
error.
no, I know, I don't know what it is, that's what I'm saying. It might be my signal, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that yours isn't working or is working and mine isn't. I don't know what is going on. That's
No,
why I showed her.
the
It's like,
link is what has the error, which is why I gave you the actual website address so you could type it in. Does that make more sense?
now, yes, okay, you were saying that. Okay, no, yeah.
Definitely like mass confusion.
It really is a mass
Would you
confusion.
like the website again?
Yes,
So we,
please, because you did say it and I really thought that.
no
was
guys
gonna
apply.
work. And-
It smells nice.
It doesn't smell like a locker room online.
Okay, hold on, so, you know, I'm just gonna type it in as you tell it to me. How about that?
Let me know.
Oh,
You're sitting roses.
Not
All right,
I'm so serious. It literally just said, girl.
You like it?
If you need it, I still have it.
There's some silver.
If you're
Twilight,
tired,
the Twilight of
I
it
could give him
all
that.
over here.
Just fix it, but he's gonna have to cord it under the thing, so I'm just glad we have power.
Interwebs?
Yeah.
That is so weird. It heard you complaining and I'm throwing fits. I said, you know what, maybe I'll work, because she can come out.
First with a C. K. First with a K. First with a C.
No, other way around.
Okay.
Crystal with the K. Crystal with the C.
Just gonna call everybody Crystal. And I have a 33% chance
No, no,
of a,
I like mine.
yes, ma'am.
Whichever one it is.
I've just changed that policy. Very much. Policy got shifted real quick.
Do we get to keep this notebook?
Yes. Do you like it?
I do,
have a
yes.
lot
I like it, and
Listen,
you did the whole thing.
Listen,
Good
I
job.
did. All by myself.
It's very like,
Professional.
yeah, no, it's very spot on the layout of.
Easy to read.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. That's what I was.
There's how much what they morphed into.
It was my idea.
Okay. Not sure.
It really, oh my god.
I wanna see how, what stuff does. Just wanna know it works. Binder,
Like, there's
training.
no insurance or even financial services in the list at all for the licenses to look up.
What?
Yeah.
What's it
Your
say?
jokes too with the different states.
That was him.
That's-
I didn't hear what you said.
I am on the labor license and regulation lookup and it won't even. it doesn't-
You have everything but that? You have everything but your, okay,
Yeah.
so we're fine on that for now.
Okay.
We'll come back to that in a
It's
second.
just getting on my last
What do
nerve.
you, what do you need, Toy?
I'm trying to like download and email a copy of my South Carolina non-residential license. And it's,
We filled out the paperwork, right?
I got my license last
And-
year.
I mean, the new hire paperwork we did, and we got your NPN,
Oh, yeah,
I'll take care of it for you.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
okay. Cause this is just giving me a whole headache
I
now.
can feel it, and I don't want your head to ache.
Yes.
Forget about it, I'll take care of it for you.
Forget about it. Hi, Miss Madison, welcome.
Madison was on our morning meeting today, I'm not used to having the new, everybody say anything, like, don't tell the new people this. And then Madison was like, I was in your meeting. How's everybody doing?
Very well.
All right. So I'm gonna just go over a couple items, some big picture stuff. So, forget about, unless you're not done, or even if you are, let's put everything down. Take a deep breath. I've been learning a lot about breathing lately.
Those are nice things that we want to share.
And appreciate
I make my own one of these every day. I'm going to share these. Having a vision for your life allows you to live out of hope rather than out of your fears. I don't understand that one. The time is always right, do it now. I understand that one. Your dream is only about you. If your dream is only about you, then it's too small. The reason I don't typically read these, like the blurbs out loud, is because I have a tendency of getting way too philosophical. And then I want to pull them apart and want to say, what do they mean here? What did they mean here? Let's talk about it. And then it's 4:30 and Marine's like, you didn't shut up for 5 hours, no one's eating.
5 minutes.
I got nothing done.
So, let's start at the beginning. It's a very good place to start. I am super sweet. That's the most important part of what I'm gonna say. Just a couple things that are real important to me, and you'll hear them as we go. When we get into like these kind of settings where I get to talk to you guys all at once, it's not very often, especially when you get out of training. So one of the things that would be very gracious of you is for me to see your eyes, to know that we're listening, because I don't get your guys' full attention very often. And when we are together, chances are we're gonna be talking about stuff that's really important. So I like to lay that out because the meetings we're gonna be in, you guys will see, that's our only time. Once we start going, I mean, this first 2 weeks for you guys is really, it's a fun time. because it's so different. Once you get going and moving, it's a fun time too, but in a totally different kind of way. So just a little kind of summary. I know with those of you I've sat and spoke with, we talked a little bit about what Guide to Insure is, kind of how it got here, but I'm going to reiterate. So if you've heard this before, don't stop me because some people haven't. A little bit about me and what mindset you guys should probably have moving through this week. Some things to look out for that, if you remember, will make things a little bit easier. Okay? So Guide to Insure, final expense, right? Telesales brokerage, been around for a couple of years now, and we've been very lucky to be given the opportunity to build and create and learn things on a scale that is manageable, so that once we get to this point of starting to hire and really hire, hopefully we've learned a lot of the lessons. We've gone through a lot of the things, and we're ready to serve you guys in the best way possible. One of the things I'm really guides me throughout my day, at least I try, is that everything around us is depreciating. The desks, the computers, the clothes, the carpet, the walls, the car you drove in, everything is depreciating. The only thing on a daily basis that has the opportunity to appreciate is us. Right? We're the thing that has the potential to get better every day. And if we keep that in our minds, as long as we're making progress, we're going in the right direction. All right, there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be flying at you, a bunch of stuff to learn. Take a breath and just move through it, because by the time you get out there and get going, you're going to know exactly what you need to know in that moment. Nothing more and nothing less. Then you're going to be presented with new opportunities and new things, and you're going to learn them as you go. And chances are, if you're experiencing it, there's something built in, or there's something coming to help you with it because someone else has experienced it before. For example, right now, you might, I don't know anything. It's a great feeling. That's not a bad feeling, right? Embrace that feeling, because it's the last time you're going to not know anything, right? So you guys are going to probably, if you've read any of the board, I say a lot of things over and over and over. And the reason I do that is because people don't hear what you say, they hear what you keep saying. And chances are, almost everything we move through is simply how you think about it. It could feel bad and anxious and overwhelming, or it could feel like an opportunity. That's all how you think about it. And you got some great people around you that have learned some great things, and there's nothing that you're not going to be able to do. Everybody in here is in here for a reason. And it's because, without a doubt, if you guys do the work and keep going, you're going to make money and be great. We know it. There's just a couple of key things that we look for, and everybody in this room has them. And we'll remind you, and we'll keep going over it together, because it's by no means easy. Nothing worth doing is. But we learn it together. You're never going to have an expectation put on you that is unfair or that you're not prepared to meet. One of those, for example, when we come out of training, we get to the end of the second week, we get to our first day where we're taking calls. No one's even going to really listen to you. You're not going to have, someone will be around to help you, don't get me wrong. But no one's going to be in there saying, you didn't do that in Mod 3. How come you didn't do that right on your first call? No. We let you get in and figure stuff out, right? And we're going to be there to help you. Because after you do that for a day or two, now you're ready to start actually connecting dots. Make sense? So, of all the places that I've worked in unique situations I've been a part of, Guide to Insure is by far my favorite. And the reason why it's my favorite is because it is a blank canvas right now that we are writing on and doing and growing and being able to figure out, what do we want this place to be? How big? The goals and aspirations of the ownership is to have 60, 70 people by the end of the year. We're at 15 now. So we're increasing the workforce by over 50% just with you guys. All right? That's a big deal. That's a big deal. To you guys, man, I can make this into anything I want it to be. So anything that, and the reason why I say it's one of my favorite places is because I've been in places before where I have been responsible for leading big teams and got to do some things that I thought I was good at, or maybe I became good at. There's been some places where I made really great money, but it was miserable, and really everything in between. And Guide to Insure is the playground where all of those things can come out. So nothing matters that you did before. Well, this is good, right? you get to write your own story starting right now. And you will always be given the same opportunity as everybody else. And you will never, ever, and I can promise you this, don't believe it now, believe it when you do whatever you do to believe things. I will never be dishonest with you in any way, shape, or form about anything ever. My character is the only thing that I will never, ever compromise for anybody at any time. It just makes my life easier. I wasn't always that way, by the way. I just learned a while ago that, man, if I cling to this one thing, then I never have to remember what I said, right? I never have to try and make something true that is not true. And it allows me to move through life knowing that I can serve you guys to the best of my ability. And that is my passion, right? When people ask me what I do, I say I'm a people gardener. I don't even tell them I'm insurance. People gardener. I garden for people. In order to go from 15 to 60 or 70, what do we need? People. And as that happens, if you're making any inferences, what else happens? There's going to be a bunch of other things that are needed that we create as we go. And the people who are doing the things and are going to be the ones that fill those positions and help us get there. So I'm super excited about you guys. Miss Marine is, I'll let you guys judge her for yourself.
She's in the building, guys.
Now, you're going to hear a lot ad nauseum to a point where it's going to seem cliche. Remember now, things become cliches for a reason. They're so right. People say them so much that folks that aren't necessarily in control of the way that they think will say, that's cliche. It's like a dismissal of a thing that is said so right. There's a reason why it's cliche, because it's so right. So trust the process is something you guys are going to hear over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And I want to put a disclaimer out there about what that means. The process isn't just the words on the page that we're going to learn. It's not just how to answer questions or take a policy from hello through fully underwritten. It's everything that we do in the building all the time. It's when we get in and what our visualization is for the day. It's how we move through things from call to call, from day to day. It's the awareness and willingness to work together and ask questions and know that everyone's getting better. By no means are we some juggernaut of efficiency that is perfect, not even close. But we're learning, we're getting better together. And it's all part of the process. And when you start to fall into what trusting the process really means, you understand that you don't have to have any anxiety. Okay? Anxiety is a punishment that we give ourselves in the present moment for a potential future thing that might not even happen. So let yourself be present and move through. Because once you know the process, even if it doesn't make sense, if you trust it, that's why it's trust the process. It's like your pinky and your blankie. You don't have to be scared of anything. I don't fully understand it, but it's like skydiving. I've never done it before, but I've got a harness hooked up to me with the thing that they say is going to come out, and I'm secured to another dude. He's got one of those too. Still not really sure what the hell I'm doing, but okay, right? And chances are you land successfully. Maybe that wasn't the greatest analogy. So while we're on the process, you guys have varying experiences in varying places, some in insurance, some in not. But I was hired to build the brokerage. In the first 10 months, all I did for hundreds of hours, hundreds and hundreds of hours, was listen to phone calls over and over, all different phone calls. But one thing they all had in common, they were all from our lead source. So one of the things that's very special about Guide to Insure is the owners of the company, they own the businesses respectfully that cultivate data, that then goes to a call center that calls through the data, that generates warm transfer leads for the insurance companies. And they've been doing it for a long time. That whole other side of the building before COVID was filled up with agents creating warm transfer leads for the insurance company. A lot of the big companies buy their leads from right over there. So the guys that own the biz said, well, why don't we have our own? Right? We own it all the way up until here. Why aren't we finishing the last piece? So they brought me in to start studying and learning who and why and what makes people successful on our leads. Now, our leads aren't, the final expense in general is made for folks that really don't know it exists or don't think they can ever get insurance anymore because maybe they're too old, maybe they're too whatever. it's our job every day, and it's a beautiful thing, to get to inform people that there is something there for you that you didn't know existed before, and it's going to add value to your life. And when we execute the process properly, you make a friend. You got somebody who genuinely is so thankful for what you've informed them about that it's a cool thing. It's a cool thing to do. Now, if you've done other types of insurance like open enrollment for Medicare and Medicaid, it's not that, okay? It's a different biz. Those folks are aware of what they have. They're aware that new free stuff comes out all the time. And during that little chunk of time, it's a feeding frenzy of craziness. This is a totally other world. The reason why final expense telesales is becoming so popular and it's growing exponentially fast is because no one ever went out solely to sell final expense, right? You have to drive to people's houses. You got to make these phone calls, try to get appointments. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. Gas, all the different things. I'm not going out there to show them a small, affordable, permanent option that doesn't pay me a whole lot for one, right? Now, if I could write 2 or 3 of those, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those, we'd be talking, but I'm going to drive to Ocala. Maybe they're there, maybe they're not. Try to book an appointment over here. Didn't make sense, right? For a long, long time. Well, now, every day, thousands and thousands of people are turning the ages of 50 to 85. Every day, people are getting more and more apt to do business over the phone than they've ever been before, right? So the opportunity keeps growing and growing and growing, and it's new. Enter us. And that's what we're going to learn about this week and into next week and in the subsequent days. And we're going to keep going, right? We're going to keep going, hopefully getting better. But what I want you to know is don't take that previous insurance world knowledge and think that it's going to be something that directly applies. I only say that because of experience, right? Some agents in the past have been like, well, I don't understand why it's an hour to an hour and a half long, this process, this pitch. Trust the process.
Building a relationship.
Yeah, it takes time, right? You don't just poof that, and it's not something their previous experience says, I should be able to get this done like this. And sometimes you may be able to, but you can't write good business that stays in force over time and pays you the way it should. And we learned that the hard way, guys. Take advantage of the blood, sweat, and tears of the things that we learned by doing, because that's where we're at. We're going to learn more together. But everything you're going to be taught is stuff that has been learned, a lot of it the hard way. A lot of it getting beat over the head. Like, oh, that's why. Damn. Okay. And if somebody else has taken that beat over the head, you don't have to. Right? Just trust the process. How many of you guys have seen The Karate Kid? I think that toy, did I tell you that? Somebody I told in the So whether you have or haven't, I don't know how much this applies or will land, Madison, you may have seen it. There's a scene that was always, I love The Karate Kid, it's my favorite movie ever. I didn't realize when I was a kid how much it was preparing me to be an adult. Breathe.
So nice.
What? Balance, right? All this stuff that was in the movie that, I'm like, ooh, this is all applying to me now. Well, there's this one scene, right? Mr. Miyagi agrees to put Daniel-san through training to teach him karate. For our example, final expense. And for the first 2 weeks, he's got him wax on, wax off, wax all my cars. No, do it exactly like this. Not like that, like this. And whatever. Paint my house. Don't paint it like this. Sand the floor. Wash it. All the over and over. So eventually, Daniel loses it. And he gets in Mr. Miyagi's face. He says, you said you were going to teach me karate. What is the paint the house, sand the fence, wax it? What? Miyagi says, show me. And he starts throwing punches and kicks at him, and he's blocking him. You don't even know how he's doing it. Sand the floor, wax on, wax off. He's blocking him. He knew something he didn't know that he didn't know. In the process, a lot of the things that we go over this week, you're going to have that moment where you say, we've spent an hour and 50 minutes on storytelling. What does that have to do with final expense? Trust the process. It will make sense. That's one, guys, by the way, put more into. No matter what Maureen says, no matter what you see in a video, no matter what you think or don't think about stories, make yours the best ever. Ask questions. figure out ways to have a Rolodex of stories that have emotion and feeling in them. I won't get going on that because you know how I get with stories. It's so important. But there's going to be a number of those things. Studying rapport and what it means and how it means and why it applies and where it applies and all these different, what does it have to do? We haven't even started learning about final expense yet.
The report applies everywhere.
And
Every single
thank you,
way.
Crystal, with a C.
Well,
Okay.
Mo got it right though the first time.
C.
I have to go.
K.
No,
First.
no.
I just said Crystal. Oh, and then I did it again. I didn't tell you guys about my dyslexia. You know what? That's going to be a tough one for me. But she said it. Rapport gets built everywhere.
Everywhere.
The process, as you start to learn it and apply it, you'll start to realize applies everywhere. It's communication. It's a doctorate in communication. The things that we're going to learn in here are going to help you make money and have a great career. But when you say, well, I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it over here when I go out and talk to this guy, wow.
My ex was always on me about, you always think you can get what you want, because he always hated that I pretty much got what I'm like, it's not about getting what I want, it's about building that rapport and utilizing your resources to get what you want.
Right. And you can have everything in life you want if you help enough other people get everything they want. And that's rapport. That's the essence of rapport, right? It's just getting people to open up and talk to you so you can have a discussion that doesn't have a whole bunch of walls built in, right? It's not until they trust what you're saying that anything that they say is true. And you'll learn a lot about that as we move through the mods. We know it works. So there hasn't been one person, not one person who's gone through the training and then dedicated themselves to doing it that hasn't made money and been successful. None, right? There's some people that have been here that aren't here anymore, but it's not for that reason, right? You learn the process, you execute it, you make the decisions that require zero sales talent. The equation is such that you have to make money. It's science, right? So trust that. It's part of the process. Now, real quickly, I want to go over for the first time, and as I go over how commission works right now, understand that it's okay to not understand. I want to take your head one time. Some of you guys will have varying comprehension of what I'm talking about. But as we move through these days, it's going to make more sense. We're going to go over it more, and we'll go over some details of it. But I want to initially tell you guys how commission works, because that's the first thing I would want to know if I were you. Okay? So, not to oversimplify things, but to oversimplify things. You're an agent. You're waiting for your call. Your call comes over. You say hello. You go through the process. You write a policy. Policy gets written. That policy is going to have a funding date. Now, the way that we're set up, and you'll learn about this in Mod 7, is we try and correspond all funding dates with the dates that folks receive their benefits. Social Security, disability, not everyone has benefits, but a lot of them do. And we try and correspond the funding date with those dates because we want the premium to just be there and come out without them ever having to think about it. Never having to worry about it lapsing and their loved ones not being covered, right? Well, when that day comes, you write a deal today, for example, and the funding date is next Tuesday. When that date comes and that policy pays, that is when you'll get, that pay period is when that commission will be paid to you. Okay, so that's the first thing. We get paid every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Everything that funds during that 2 weeks is your commission that'll be on your check. Now, commission is based off of AEP, which is annual earned premium. That'll be that'll be in your vernacular so quick. Annual earned premium. Whatever the monthly premium is, multiply times 12. That's AEP. So in the example in your book, and just to use round numbers, let's say the premium on the $20,000 policy you just wrote for Miss Smith is $100 a month. What's the annual earned premium? $1,200, right? That is the number in which we get paid off of. So that is our foundation. You guys get paid the same way the brokerage gets paid. It's called being paid as earned. The brokerage gets a 9-month advance on their commission. you get a 9-month advance on your commission. Month 10, month 11, month 12, you get paid 1 month, 1 month, 1 month. So month 1, you're gonna get the total of 9 months of commission,
$900.
right? And then in the other 3, you'll get them out. Now that's what the brokerage gets, $900. Our commission percent is 25% of what the brokerage gets. So on that one policy, the total commission over 12 months is $300. Okay? The advance is $900. So what's 25% of 900? I'll save it. It's $225. So on that first premium, when it gets paid, the corresponding pay period for that one policy, you'll get $225. Then in months 2 through 9, you won't get anything for that policy. But in months 10, when they pay their $100 premium, you get 25. Months 11, 25. Month 12, 25. Totaling the 300. Now, don't worry about connecting all the dots that I see in your minds right now, because it'll all make so much more sense as we continue to move through it. Remember that last week, Ansel Simmons had 11 policies and over 10,000 AP. This is how it makes sense when you start to realize how much am I going to write? What am I going to do? How much of the process do I learn to make sure that thing I didn't understand about the warm down, the final 15 minutes after the call's really done, why am I going to spend 15 more minutes, is about making sure policies fund down the road. Okay? And they stay in force. Because you can write a $200 a month AP premium that equals $2,400 a month AP, but if it doesn't ever pay, no one ever gets paid. Right? So all of that's built into the process. Now, everybody out here makes really good money when they execute the process. When you get down the road and you start getting into your 9th and 10th month and you're making really good money, plus all those deals from your first few months are starting to come in, it starts to get real exciting. So everything works together here to hopefully keep you guys here forever. And want you to be here forever so that you're making money forever. Okay? So that is the real basic 101 on how the commission structure works. As we move through, we'll have questions and details and we'll go through them. But I want to give you guys just a basic understanding, because nothing is super straightforward in final expense. Everything's a little bit of a dance, right? And same thing with that. We've got a great situation, by the way, because most places, they're not paying a salary and doing 2 weeks of training and then providing the leads and then the support and then because we want you to stay here forever. Most places have that good old boy kind of insurance world thing where it's hire as many as we can, make them pay for everything, give them nothing, and hopefully a percentage of them stick. Well, that works with the other types of insurance. That doesn't work with final expense, in my opinion. So being able to put these things together and build a team that stays forever is the goal. Carlos, come on down.
Hey.
We got one more?
Hey.
Hello, madame.
Good morning. Andrew.
Morning. How are you? So,
We're gonna wrap up here in a second and then we'll get on. Go ahead.
Yeah, just hang out. I'm getting ready to wrap up just a little hello, and then we're gonna have a break and we can. Sure, come on down. Come on down. Speaking of growing in people, there are other brokerages that are beginning that want to know our process, and we work with them to help them and new agents learn, just like you guys are gonna learn, because of how fast everything's growing. You guys are the future leaders of this entire biz, should you choose to be. I choose to pour myself into all of you the most I can because I want to be living in a van down by the river. Literally, I want to be able to feel a phone call and be like, yeah, everything good? Okay, I'm in the van by the river.
I don't know why I knew you were going to say that, but I totally knew you were going to.
Most people think that's a thing, like if you lose your job, you end up living in a van down by the river. My goal in life is to do so well, I can live in a van down by the river.
That's just because of the SNL quote, though. That's all that is.
So you've been using your papers. Yeah, that's an SNL skit, by the way, with Chris Farley.
Down
Motivational
by the river.
If you don't learn the process, you're going to be living in a van down by the river. Reverse it. That's actually what I want to do. So, you guys just missed the beautiful, wonderful things I said, messing up names, connecting dots. Nothing important. It is for you guys. Carlos, you already know all this. This whole week, the next 2 weeks, have fun. Don't get overwhelmed. There's no point in giving yourself a punishment in the moment for a thing that you're gonna learn. It's there, it's coming. Wait for it. Be present. Be now. Right? Keep your eyes here. Stay focused. Questions, write them down. Right? Because we may ask for question and answers in certain sessions. We may not. And if we don't, it's because the question you just thought of is what we're going over in the morning. And if you still have the question, that's the time we want to go over it, right? So it's all, not all of it, but a lot of it has been built in to guide us through. The one factor, though, that has to be there for it to work is for you guys to be present, be in it, know whatever you need is coming. But also serve yourself and write it down so that if for some reason it doesn't, or you don't get the answer, in those moments where we say, okay, let's talk, you can bring the thing up that you need to bring up. What else, Maureen? What haven't I touched on? Is there anything I can go on a 45-minute rant about? Are you sure? Because I like to do it.
Well, we did want to know about the symbol.
Metatron.
That is a 45-minute.
Oh.
We went over that, that's a
Is that a
transformer.
Kabbalah.
But you said he was gonna do a small, yeah. Small version.
So, oh man, how do you tell a group of people you just met that you're magic? Oh, just like that. No. So I'm very passionate about sound and vibration, energy, meditation, and it led me to sacred geometry. And within the topic of sacred geometry, we could spend multiple, but there's one particular symbol that has assisted me in my development personally, and it's called Metatron's cube. And out of Metatron's cube, which is that symbol, all geometries in the universe can be found out of the three-dimensional representation of the two-dimensional cube. And along with geometry comes vibration. With vibration comes energy and sound. And it's just something I'm passionate about. It's something that I've learned if I surround myself with, more often than not, things will work out. Answers will come to questions I didn't know I had. And it's something that became very, very special to me. And it's something I've decided that I surround myself with in my life. And this is not religious in any way, shape, or form, because we don't do that in the workplace. But Metatron himself is what is considered an archangel. It's just an energetic thing. It's why it's called Metatron's cube. It's the geometry in which creation is made. The 5 platonic solids are the foundation for all physical matter, et cetera, line, dot, cross, blah. That's short answer. I like it. It's pretty.
I do too. That's what attracted me.
Yeah, it's not any kind of voodoo stuff. It's just shapes. It's just geometry. And I like it. And that is why. For now, if you have any further questions, we can talk in detail at a later time. Not in a training class where HR could get called. Do you know what the guy's talking about?
He's a darn loony bin, y'all.
I took the job of he's talking about shapes and colors in kindergarten. All right. Feel good?
Yes.
Have I blawed too much? Have I been too much? I've tried bringing myself back in. I get excited. I mean,
I think they need a break now. Because
I can.
so no, we will go ahead and take 12:45. If you guys want to go get food, refresh, and then we'll.
and you guys know where to do, you know where the break room is and stuff like
Well,
that.
I'll
and
walk
kind
through
of
and then you can touch
Sure.
base with Carlos and
awesome.
Susan.
Welcome back.
Give me about 3 minutes to show them, and I'll let him get started.
Feel free to wander around.
Hey, Miss Madison, we will be back soon, and whoever else is on there.
All right. So it's fun.
This is like a challenge to.
Oh yeah, we're just getting rolling. They got the first couple hours just